Hello, in this video we're going to talk about the importance of getting a good latch. You'll be feeding your newborn baby many times a day, so it's very important that you're comfortable and your baby's comfortable. So you might want to use a rolled up blanket or a towel to support your arm. You might want to put your baby on a pillow. You might want to put your feet up on a footrest, and also have a table close by with a snack and a drink. You need to find a comfortable position that's good for you and your baby. It doesn't really matter whether it's a Madonna position, whether it's a cross cradle position, whether it's a football position, or even a biological position. It doesn't really matter what position you use, as long as you and your baby are comfortable. If you're feeding in bed, the best position to use is actually lying down. The important thing to know when breastfeeding is that babies don't just take the end of the nipple. And if they do, this is going to cause the mum a lot of pain and the baby is going to get very little milk. When a baby breastfeeds correctly, the baby actually needs to make a pressure around the brown part or the areola here. And this will help the mum to have a pain-free experience with breastfeeding, and it will help the baby to get lots of milk. When we offer our breast to the baby, our nipple should be in the junction of the hard palate and the soft palate. So if you feel with your tongue, at the front you'll feel that you have a hard palate, and at the back it's the soft palate. So we really want this nipple to be far enough back into the baby's mouth so that when you're breastfeeding, it's going to feel like the baby is pulling. When the baby has a poor latch on at the breast, the nipple will be in contact with the hard palate and it's going to feel like your baby is biting your nipple. Here are a few tricks to get you started. So we really want to keep the nipple pointing upward, so it's going to go back into the baby's soft palate. So we want the baby to take a good portion of the areola in the mouth, so we don't want to be covering the nipple. We don't want to be offering our breast like this. We really want to keep our hand way back from the areola. So we can start by putting our nipple maybe on the baby's nose or between the nose and the top lip. Then the next thing to do is wait for the baby to open wide. And when the baby's mouth is open wide, we're going to slip our nipple up and backwards in our baby's mouth. So when your baby is latched on well on your breast, his chin will be really nicely tucked into the breast and the nose will automatically be free. There'll be a small gap between the nose and the breast. Never try pushing your nipple into a half open mouth, and never force your baby at the breast when they're crying. Always start with a nice calm baby and calm mum. If you feel pain in your nipple, it's very important that you reposition your baby again at the breast, because when the baby is giving you pain in the nipple, the baby will be getting very little milk. So you can detach your baby by putting a clean finger into your baby's mouth, releasing the suction, and then reoffering the breast again. When the baby is incorrectly latched on, you may see that one of the lips or both of the lips of the baby are tucked inside, and they should actually be open wide. Also, you may notice that the baby sucks his cheeks in, and you may notice that the baby makes a clacking sound. And all of these are a sign that the baby is not latched on well, so it's a good idea to restart again. Now we've spoken about how the nipple goes into the baby's mouth, which is very important, but another important aspect of breastfeeding is the position of the baby's head. So I'm just going to show you a few things here. So when I had my first baby, and maybe you've seen ladies breastfeed like this too, when we put our baby into the crook of our arm here, we can see that what we tend to do with our baby's head is push it forwards. So if I take my baby off the breast, you'll notice that my baby's chin is really on his chest. So in order for your baby to get lots of milk from the breast, the baby needs to be able to open his mouth wide, he needs to be able to stick his tongue out further than the gum line, and he needs to be able to swallow the milk. The next thing I want you to do in this video is I want you to imagine that you're this baby. So if everybody just put your chin on your chest, open your mouth wide, stick your tongue out, and now try and swallow. It's not very easy, is it? In fact, it's almost impossible. And it's the same for your baby. When we drink from a glass, what do? We put the glass up to our lips and we put our head so it's tilting backwards. It's the same principle for our baby. Our baby needs to have their head tilted backwards. So let's see what we could do to make this position a little bit better. Maybe instead of putting our baby in the crook of our arm here, we could put our hand between our baby's shoulder blades and we could support the back of the baby's neck with our wrist, and we can put the breast on the baby's nose, and we can bring our baby into the breast this way. And now if we look, naturally my baby is looking at me, the nose is free, and my baby's chin is really tucked into the breast. So it doesn't matter which position you're using, the baby's head should always be the same. So if it's in a Madonna position, or if it's in a football position, your baby should be always looking at mummy, and actually the nose should not be touching the breast. As soon as our baby's nose is touching the breast, we've probably pushed the baby's head too far forward. So the best thing to do is not to press the breast with your finger, but actually push the baby's shoulders a little bit closer and bring your baby into the breast this way. Baby is drinking at the breast, you'll notice that the suction of the baby changes. It becomes slow and rhythmical. And when there's a pause in the suck and the chin is down, this is when the milk is flowing into your baby's mouth. And then you're going to hear the baby swallowing. When the baby is sucking quickly, there isn't any milk transfer. So one of the really important things for you to learn as a new mum is to watch your baby at the breast. We want to see that our baby is drinking our milk and not just kissing our breast. A baby that is actively drinking at the breast usually will have their eyes wide open, and you'll see that the baby is nice and active. And your job as a new mum is to talk to your baby while your baby is feeding. Stroke your baby's head, stroke your baby's chin, maybe tickle your baby's hands, and just make sure that your baby is really drinking at your breast. So remember, pain in the nipple, pain in the breast isn't a normal part of breastfeeding. So you may have a little bit of sensitivity in the first couple of days after birth. But if you're having pain in the nipple or in the breast, don't hesitate to get some help with breastfeeding.